let me just rewind back to last spring. I told you that before the midterms that Biden would announce some kind of debt forgiveness program just in time to influence the midterms, and that when you looked into the details of the program, you would see that it didn't amount to much, but that they would make a big splash like they had really done something. And they did exactly that. And everyone's talking about Biden forgiving the student loans, right up into the midterms. And you notice no one's talked about it since the election. And he came out real quietly this week and said, well, we're going to suspend the forgiveness program until the court rules on it, because the Sixth Circuit Court has now put a permanent stay on it until there's an actual court case involved. It's no longer a temporary stay. They've just put the quietus on this thing and the debt forgiveness program. So, yeah.
Yeah, Dave, as I was reading this last night, I had the thought, how did Dave know? Like, you have called it at every stop along the way. So,
it's what I would have done if I were a politician with no principles. It's exactly what I would have done, because it was logical. It makes sense. Yeah. It was a very shrewd political move. No intention whatsoever, no expectation whatsoever that the loans would actually ever be forgiven. Did not notify the Department of Education. Did not notify studentaid.gov. Studentaid.gov. Major part of the administration's function to forgive the student loans. Didn't even tell them ahead of time. I mean, if you're going to roll out a program that's going to affect tens of millions of people, you've got to get your staff ready for this. No notice to them whatsoever, and then announces it. And that tells us right there that, you didn't think it was going to go through.
I think it's just hard to believe that, these are real people's lives. This is, a generation learning to relate to money and learning responsibility with money. And to think that they could just, have all this confusion and kind of be played with as a political pawn.
Just be manipulated by politicians. You're so sweet. You never thought that would happen.
I didn't want to believe it would happen, Dave.
It's happening. Yeah, and so federal student loan bills have been scheduled to resume in January. Of course, they're going to have trouble getting through a House that is now majority Republican. It's not going to happen. So, and of course, then he gets the next shrewd move is, watch this, it's going to, I tried to do it, but the mean old Republicans wouldn't let me. That's coming next. That's the thing. So Biden administration on Tuesday announced it will extend the payment pause, because it is the one thing they can do, on federal student loans until after June, because you should never have to pay your bills because there's inflation that I caused. That isn't what they said, was it? Okay, no, that wasn't what they said. Top official at the Education Department recently said student loan default rates could dramatically spike if its loan forgiveness program is thwarted. You think? Yeah, there ain't nobody paying these things. So the way we're not going to admit that this head fake on the forgiveness thing caused everybody to stop paying, we're just going to not make you pay until June so that it doesn't show up. And by then you'll forget that the reason the student loan default rates went way up was because we told everybody we were going to forgive them and then we didn't. Oh, that's that. Yeah, nice moves. Nice moves. So what does all this tell you?
Man, it's been interesting. It's confusing. That's what it really tells you right now. It's kind of unfair and confusing. I actually asked a question on Instagram last night, just trying to get people's feelings on it. And the range is so wide. It's what was most interesting to me is even people with student loans who are paying off student loans are starting to get frustrated. They're like, just give us clear guidance. Let us know what to expect. This back and forth, it's going to be forgiven. And wait, all of this is just so confusing and people are getting really frustrated.
Oh, I didn't see this. I just saw it in the article. I thought they were extending the payment because economic times are so bad. No. The Education Secretary, Cardona, says in a statement, we're extending the payment pause because it would be deeply unfair to ask borrowers to pay a debt that they wouldn't have to pay if it wasn't for the baseless lawsuits brought by Republicans. I told you they were going to blame them. Yeah, we're gonna just not make you pay payments because the mean old Republicans are not going to let us do the forgiveness thing. That's what she just said.
Dang. Ouch.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, moral of the story is this. If you wait on this clown show,
yep,
both sides of the aisles together. You couldn't make a good circus if you mixed the whole thing in a stew pot. Okay? If you wait on this clown show, if you wait on the island of misfit toys, it's called Washington, D.C. to fix your life is always going to suck. If you're waiting on a government program to make your life shiny, your life's going to suck. It's not their job. It's not within their power to make your life awesome. It is within your power.
Absolutely.
And so here's a plan. You took out the loan. Pay it back. You owe it. I don't owe it. I didn't take it out, and I'm a taxpayer, and I shouldn't have to pay your loan. A guy who is a welder and didn't go to college and makes $85,000 a year and works 60 hours a week, and he's out there in sub-zero temperature somewhere in North America right now welding a building together for you to sit your little butt in, shouldn't have to pay your student loan. That's not fair.
Wow, mic drop.
Something to think about.
But I will say, if you have student loans right now and you hear this wake-up call and you're going, man, I don't want to wait on Washington. I hate this feeling of confusion, and you want to get ready to just attack these loans, this is a great time to do it. This pause means
there's no interest.
There's no interest.
Pile on.
They
This is not the time to not pay. It's the time to pay.
Exactly. They gave you more time interest-free. This is a blessing in that regard. You have time without interest accruing to pay off these student loans.
Yep.